that may actually be true. Now, I'm not saying that if Einstein didn't ride his bike, we wouldn't have the theory of relativity, but I am saying that he probably thought of it quicker because he took a break. Because what's that famous saying of his? You can't solve a problem with the same kind of thinking that created it. He walked his talk.
I'm sorry. Part of it was the train ride he took every day and saw the clock, and then the clock didn't move.
Yeah.
You noticed that as you went by it.
Yeah. And there it is. Again, an outside of the, he wasn't in the lab when he had that insight, so that works too. It probably all came together. Because have any of you ever done this, ever taken a break when you take a walk or something, or you ride your bike, or you're swimming, and suddenly an idea just pops into your head out of nowhere? Has anybody ever experienced that? We get a lot of breakthroughs that way. Yeah. Yeah, question.
Einstein rode in circles at Princeton to get in the zone.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, if you guys know extra things that I don't know, I love hearing things like that. He also, the story goes, I went to Princeton, and the story goes that he got ice cream a lot. I think I went to the same ice cream shop that he went to, and one of the stories is that his ice cream cone fell out of the ice cream fell off of his cone onto the sidewalk, and he just looked at it and cried. I don't know if that's true or not, but he was an interesting dude. And one last thing for businesses. Interesting research shows that businesses that are based on personal pastimes actually tend to do better than businesses that aren't. Why do you think that might be? This guy is Terry Finley. He used Focus. He used to be a health insurance salesman, but he really loved horses and decided to put all of his effort into buying and training and selling horses, and now he's a multimillionaire. But, okay, Focus, what else? Why would a business that's based on a passion of yours or a hobby even be likely to do better than one that isn't?
More reward.
More reward from, you're right on the...
Doing the other.
So here's the, did you have more to say, or?
If they don't get the mic, just repeat it.
Okay, yeah. So, more rewards, he said. And actually, yes.
I was going to say that because you like the activity, you know what other people like. You know what's good about it.
That's a good one. I like that too, yeah. Because you enjoy the activity, you know what other people enjoy about it. Any other thoughts? There's one more. Think about this. You start a company and it's based on something you love and it's not doing very well.
Keep doing it.
You keep doing it because the rewards, you were onto it, is not just making money. The reward is the love of doing it. So what happens with a lot of these companies that are based on personal pastimes is they may start out slow to the gate. In fact, they kind of do. But they hang in there longer because they love what they're doing. And then eventually they take off. So implications for business, well, if you want to start your own business, do something you really like. But if you're going to work for somebody else, or if you're going to hire people, maybe try blurring that line between work and play a little bit, and allow people really to have passion projects like they do at Gore and Associates. A lot of companies in Silicon Valley talk about, people have, 10% of their own time to work on their side projects at work. But I've talked to those people, a lot of them, at parties and such, and have worked for some of those companies, and I have to tell you that that isn't actually the case. That 10% of the time is on the weekends. Yeah. Implications for educators. I'm going to talk about extension programs, liberal arts colleges, and schools real quickly, but I think this is interesting. How many of you have ever taken a class from an extension program? They're kind of cool, right? I have. I used to teach. There is a very interesting phenomenon happening with education on all levels right now, and that is that the arts and humanities are getting yanked out. Have you noticed that? Have you heard about that? And some of you might be going, oh yeah, right, whatever. That doesn't, how bad could that be? That's no big deal. So I just want to show you, this is UCSC Extension of Silicon Valley. I used to teach for them. I used to teach creativity workshops for 10 years, actually. They used to offer courses in writing and sculpting and photography and art. And a few years ago, they decided not to do that anymore, and they just stopped that part of the program altogether. So what are they offering now? Bioscience, business and management, engineering and technology. What does this say to you when you pick up a catalog and that's what they offer? UCSC extension of Silicon Valley. What does that say to you?
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. And what is Silicon Valley? What is the culture of Silicon Valley that I see so clearly now that I haven't been here for a year? What is the culture? Anybody want to share?
Tech.
It's tech, baby. It's tech. So if you want to be successful, you learn how to be an engineer, and you spend all your time doing that. Long hours, right? Long, hard hours. This is what happens if you do that. You only got one circle. You may not be able to articulate what the synergy effect is, but you got to have two circles to get something going there. You're only going to have one circle there. And you're not going to be A, as creative or happy in and of your own self, and B, you're not going to be as effective at work. Liberal arts, they're taking it out of liberal arts now. They're shaving down the writing programs and shaving down. People are like, oh, it's not, why do we need to learn that stuff? That's not important. Well, this is Georgetown. I had to grab a picture of Georgetown because that's where I went. And here's another Venn diagram, but it's got 3 circles. So I would kind of jazz it up a little bit. I wanted to talk about something real quickly about what my experience was as a student in a liberal arts program. I had a lot of interests. Those are 3 of them. But I'll just put psychology, biology, and philosophy up there. Because I took a lot of these courses. I also took a lot of other courses, theology, history, all kinds of things. But because there were a lot of offerings, think about it. If you're coming into the world and you've got a unique creative gift, but you don't know what it is yet, and that's true for everybody in this room, at least the part of coming into the world. Maybe some of you know what it is now, but some of you may not. A lot of people don't. Anyway, if you don't know what it is and you go to a university that gives you a lot of different offerings, it helps you figure it out, right? Because you can take a course over here, and 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 you can say to yourself, you know what? I like psychology the most. I'm going to become a psychologist. So that's one good reason not to get rid of a lot of different disciplines, arts and humanities. But there's another reason that I wanted to share with you really quickly that I think is interesting, and I'm wondering if anybody else out there ever had this experience. But the first 2 years I was a student in college, I was a memorizer. I had a great memory back then. I do not know where it went, but I used to have a great memory.
You forgot where it went.
I forgot where it went. I did. I really did. But I just memorized stuff, and then I gave it back to the teachers, and I had a really great GPA. Really great GPA. Memorize, spit back, memorize, spit back, memorize, spit back. Anybody in here ever do that in school? Thank you, the 5 people who admitted that. Okay. But you know what happened around the 3rd year? Because I was taking so many different classes, you know what happened? A little tiny mini synergy effect moment for me. And that was, I was sitting in philosophy class one day, and we were talking about Kant. And all of a sudden, I thought to myself, oh my God, it's the same issue that we talk about in psychology, and it's the same issue we talk about in biology. This thing that we're talking about in a philosophy class also has been brought up in these other classes. Wait a minute, what? Has anybody had a moment like that ever? Yeah? Well, here, I'll give you just an example. In philosophy, you guys have heard of Socrates and Plato? They were asking themselves, where does knowledge come from? And they were saying, well, they thought it was inborn. And then Aristotle comes along. That's nativism. Aristotle comes along, who's a student of Plato's, and he says, no, I'm going to rebel. And I say, we're born tabula rasas, and all knowledge is acquired. Empiricism. So I'm listening to this, nativism, empiricism, and suddenly I'm thinking, what am I thinking about biology? Why does that ring true? What's going on in biology that sounds the same thing? Anybody? Yeah, is it? Yeah. Oh, she's got schizophrenia. Huh, is that genetic, or is that something that comes, from experience, right? It's the same questions. So when you allow students to learn a lot of different fields, they start thinking for themselves. And we want people to start thinking, I think we want people to start thinking for themselves. Jury's out. And then there's schools. Schools are yanking the arts and music programs too. And so now I've got 4 circles. Where there used to be, and there's many more, I just didn't want to overload you with the circles. I mean, they have to take more than this. But where there used to be art and music, there is not anymore. And so again, these kids are coming into the world with these innate gifts, ready to have experiences develop them, but they don't see many different disciplines out there to find out what theirs might be. So that same problem occurs here, which is a shame. But there's something else, and I really, being a musician, I have to take a moment and tell you about this. Arts and music are being taken out of schools. And I'll just talk about music for a second. This is what blows my mind. Research shows that if a young child, say around 6, takes 1 month of music lessons, could be on an instrument, could be singing, this is what happens. Their IQ increases. Their academic performance increases. Their verbal intelligence increases. So, when we take music out of the schools, we have taken away a chance for these kids to be smarter and do better. That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, nobody knows for sure right now why music does that. What we do know, I'm a musician, so I can't help this. What we do know is that music stimulates lots of the brain, lots of different parts of the brain. And the guy that was studying the verbal intelligence effect said, I don't know why. I don't know why kids taking music lessons enables them to remember words better and remember word meanings better and have just better memories in general for words. I don't know why. It's a mysterious transfer effect. Do-do-do-do. I've been talking about transfer this whole time, but we're taking it out. That makes me sad. That makes me really sad. Something's wrong with this picture. So I think the other thing I just wanted to close with in talking about how this all affects the way we live, creativity starts to slump at a certain grade. Does anybody want to venture a guess as to when that is? You know, kids come out pretty creative. All kids are creative. But at a certain grade level, it starts to tank. Anybody want to guess when?
7th?
7th, 10th, 8th, 3rd and 4th grades. It tanks in 3rd and 4th grades.
Because they're the hardest. That's when you start really homework, learning and everything, and then 4th, it falls apart.
Homework, okay, so one guess, and I really do want to hear what people think about this. So one guess, and it is true, because there's a lot of reasons for it, it really gets intensive with the homework. Okay, other guesses as to why creativity starts to tank? Because this talk is really about innovation and creativity. Yeah.
Please wait for the microphone.
Yeah, I think we're getting, and thank you. This is why I love talking to you guys, because you are thinkers. Yes.
Willingness to fail and allow things to happen.
Yeah, punishment for failing. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah.
It takes 3 or 4 years before the school system manages to completely kill the spirit of young children.
Yes. Actually, there is a lot of shaming that goes on in school, especially when kids show some kind of creative outlet, like, oh, Johnny, that you're supposed to draw a horse that looks like a line. You're never going to be good at drawing. That starts happening. Okay, yeah.
Well, I'd love to know the answer to this, but one thing that came to mind just now was standardized testing.
Yes. Yes, because, oh boy, yes. I'm going to say a lot about that. Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
I was gonna say just judgment. Any judgment, like whether it's how smart you are, or how if it's a good idea. Like you're scared of the judgment, it's gonna make you come up with less ideas.
Yeah, you're scared of the judgment. I like that. At both of you, I'm going to follow up on that. Both of those things, yeah.
Anytime you have to say no to a kid, and sometimes you have to, it's for their own safety, but it shuts down that animal vitality. You should
Yes.
ideally never have to say no to a kid.
Ideally. You guys are so great. Wow. Yeah.
My belief is that I worked in the school system for some years, and I think that the children are losing interest because they are asked to do more than they need to do in order to learn. If you go to Finland, where they have the finest educational system, they only take two classes each semester. That's all, no 6, 7. And by the time they reach high school, they're just very calm and can take the work. But it takes 7 years to become a teacher there.
That's interesting. That goes along with the thing I was talking about earlier about taking breaks and not working through diminishing returns. Boy, that sounds good. Well, let me tell you, those are great answers, and I think a couple of things happened everything that you said made a lot of sense, and I agree with all of it. I think 3rd and 4th grades, what also happens is you're starting to learn that memorizing what the teacher says and spitting it back thing. And if you try to be original with something, you risk getting anything from an A, which is great, to an F. I was almost a straight A student at Georgetown, and I memorized mostly everything I did and just spit it back. So that starts. And the standardized tests, did you say that? I think getting kids ready for standardized tests is not very, very smart. When I used to be a professor, I used to teach my students how to think critically and creatively. I did not prepare them for standardized tests, and they aced the standardized tests because they were able to think for themselves. So one of the things I think, you can actually teach creativity and you can actually teach critical thinking in schools. I've done it. But the other thing that happens, peer pressure. I think peer pressure starts. It happened to all of us, but we kind of forgot. That's why I wanted to end on this. We kind of forgot because it happened so long ago. But around 3rd or 4th grade, you start looking at everybody else and you start not wanting to stand out too much, right? You want to fit in because you might get teased for being different. And I think one of the most important things that schools could do is to teach us, the students, to embrace their differences, work with their differences, own their differences, not be shamed for their differences. I mean, look at the world we're inheriting. We're more and more interconnected anyway. We've got to work with different people anyway. Put on a play, yeah, not everybody can be an actor. Somebody's got to pull the curtains. Somebody's got to work the lights. Somebody's got to, we have different skills, and it's okay to have these different skills. And it's okay for you to have a skill that I don't, or to have a personality flavor that I don't. I think that if we taught that, we would be in a lot better shape. Because I love this picture. I used this photo in a blog I wrote for Lifehack. I love this picture. And the woman who took it, she calls it my little superhero. I really do believe that, and after teaching creativity workshops for 20 years, I really do believe that each of us comes into the world with a unique creative gift. And if we're able to really figure out what that gift is and, merge it with our passion, we can really develop something very special. And all of us are capable of that. But what happens in schools is you get rewarded for just being like everybody else. And we start to get molded. And I don't know how many of you feel it as you get older, but the older I get, the more tired I am of it. And I want to shine you, what is that, shine you crazy diamond, or whatever that Pink Floyd song is. Everybody's got something very special to offer the world, and I just wanted to bring all of this up to you today to sort of stimulate some thinking. And yeah, that's it. So thank you.
Are there any other questions? Comments?
No?
Okay, we're running. We're running a little late, so
Oh, okay.
we'll still have 15 minutes of social time, and then we'll open up the buffet lunch. And please join us at the speakers table.
Okay. Well, yeah, but if they're late.
So it means 25 off. Give us 15 minutes to get set up. 25 off with a lunch.
Do you guys want me to play a song?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. I brought my guitar. It's kind of about the same thing. Oh, thank you. Thanks for such great comments and really thinking. I really just was trying to get you guys to think. And you already do, but it's just so cool that oh, great. Take a picture of this. So I remember I told you my memory is like fading, so I have cheat sheets here. Sorry about that. This is a song. I just spent the last year in Atlanta and Nashville. And I have to tell you something that was really cool about being in Nashville. It sort of reminds me of Silicon Valley, except for Silicon Valley, it's all about tech, and Nashville, it's all about music. So going to Nashville made me remember how important music is, and I really needed that. But this is a song I wrote with John Cirillo. In a technicolor world where you feel black and white, alone and lost in yellow brick road, and the gifts that you were given, stuffed down deep inside, always feels like a heavy load. The people that surround you put you down and try to drown you, but they don't see your spirit like I do. I know you're special, oh, special way. I bet you're so tired of pretending. There's more chapters, it's never too late to start writing your own happy ending, your own happy ending. Take that special something and show it to the world, and you'll finally find that place where you belong. Set out on that highway and you'll find you're not alone. What makes you different is what makes you strong. Well, I know you're special, oh, special way. Bet you're so tired of pretending. There's more chapters, it's never too late to start writing your own happy ending, your own happy ending. Just close your